millennials. I am joined today by three very courageous and bright millennials, Mohini Jha, Rohit Agarwal and Gurmehar Kaur. We're here to talk about social medias, the pitfalls around social medias, the pros and cons. And we're in a beautiful art gallery in my very own South Mumbai called Rukshan Art Gallery, where an artist named Maxi Cooper is, by the way, exhibiting her beautiful photographs around cinema. Rohit, let me begin by asking you, all of you are millennials, you guys are in your early 20s. When I was your age, we didn't have anything called social media. Social media essentially meant hanging out at a friend's place and watching TV together. What do you think is the one biggest advantage of social media for your generation and the one biggest disadvantage?
Oh, spread of information, that's an easy one. I mean, the biggest advantage, if you have to ask me what's the biggest advantage, just the speed at which you can spread information. If you're active on Twitter, you know that Twitter has a community. Indian Twitter is a community. May not be on first name basis, may not be personalized, but on their handles, by whatever means of identification, there is a sense of community. So these communities are formed and it's largely good, and that's what is social about that media, because there is a social element to it.
I wanted to add to what he said. I think millennials in general are a very digitally native generation, and we've been brought up in a globalized world. We don't know anything like 1991 in India, and that feeling of being in a global village and also in an era which was heralded by human rights post the Cold War. So we grew up with this narrative of being open, community consciousness, and I think what social media does brilliantly is the trans-boundary awareness and cohesion, social cohesion that it creates. The similar thing is the disadvantage, is the same thing that it also divides, but it more than divides, it also good.
I think from a news point of view, I guess the biggest challenge is with the traditional media, it's curated essentially by an editor.
Yeah.
But it can be compromised.
Yeah.
With social media, essentially, it's not curated by an editor, it's curated by the community at large.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it can be compromised also. It's like someone on my timeline on Twitter said, there's now, we have to choose between BOUGHT media, bot media, which is bot, or BOT media.
Yeah, I mean, you just asked him what's the biggest advantage and disadvantage, and he immediately said spread of information. And my head was, and that is also the biggest disadvantage. And you keep seeing this. I mean, there's something that happened with me, is that there were these videos going around during the Ramjas protest that I am in this car drinking and dancing, okay? And these are WhatsApp videos. Everyone's constantly on WhatsApp, forward.
What's wrong?
I mean, even if that is another different conversation in India, right? Even if I was no big deal if I'm in a place that has a legal drinking age of 21.
Yes, that's the only issue.
That's the only issue. Exactly. And I'm 21 now, but wherever, if it's 18, if it's 21, if I'm in a space where it's legal, I don't think it's problematic at all. But then there were these videos that were going around, and there are still people who, and because it's a very blurry video, there's still people who would assume that it's me just because it says it's me, even though it's not.
Yeah, if you just sum it up, it would be great at spreading information, bad at drawing conclusions. You can't draw conclusions from it, but you can get information. Now it's up to you whether you can assess it, assimilate it, do what. So,
or on a on a less serious thing, when I said that, for my generation, we didn't have social media at 21. You're all 21?
Yeah.
I'm giving away the two ladies' age, by the way. But, one thing that would really freak me out is when I was 21 and, we did a lot of fun things and we were hanging out and you were working hard, you were studying hard, you were also partying hard. And I just think about the fact that it's actually scary in a sense, and, in a harmless way. You're having fun sometimes, you're out with your friends, your parents think you're going to spend the night at least I would do that. I'm going to spend the night at my friend's house when we're actually having a little party at my friend's house. And today, a harmless post on, say, Facebook or Twitter means you're in trouble at home. How do you guys deal with that? It's great.
You have to be aware of the kinds of things that you're putting on the internet, and I want to say, especially from the standpoint of a woman, there are certain pictures that maybe if you're at a beach you don't want to post because a creepy Indian man is going to say something to you, and you've been in a situation where you've received horrible rape threats and things like that. So I feel I want to bring gender into this a little bit and say that men, I feel, enjoy a greater platform for expression on social media than women do, because women are so easily targeted and are made to go into this position where they're silent.
Which essentially is true of the offline space as well.
Yeah.
Men have to be like that.
No, the arms are a lot different. You guys should tell Milind about how you guys are harassed, because like I
Yeah.
shouldn't, but like you guys should just tell about just something as basic as dick pics, just like.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was coming for. You talk about, rape threats, and that is after I posted, it's something that went massive viral. But this is talking about my sister, and she's 18 years old, and she's not somebody who people, her profiles are not public, her profiles are very secured, and yet within the people who do follow her, within the very small circles, she will still get questioned and harassed. Harassment is not, you always have to, even if it's a constant hi, or do not reply to me, hi dear, reply to me please, and then you are such a bitch, you are so arrogant, you're constantly, and it's traumatizing, because just a year ago she was 17 and she was still getting it. When she was 16 she was still getting it. When I was 17 I was still getting it, and it's just, and I cannot, if you're a woman out on the internet, men feel like they have the right to send you whatever message they want to, and they feel like they have a right, that we owe them an answer, we owe them a reply.
They're there for public display.
That it's for the public display.
You just scared me, because I'm a father of a 7.5-month-old daughter.
Yeah.
So I'm like freaking
No,
out
and
now about
it's never ending. It's
never
never
ending, yeah.
Indian uneducated men who are on the internet are a huge meme worldwide for something known as bobs and vagine.
Yeah.
Because they are
Sorry, I'm
bobs and vagine. Let me explain.
millennial
Now,
thing. Explain to me, yeah.
these
and
men,
what?
bobs and vagine. Now these men ask.
Say it.
Bobs and what? Spell it out for me.
No. Let me.
Vagine.
Vagines.
Vagines.
Yeah, bobs and vagines.
I'm not going to get in trouble for saying that, right?
No, probably not.
Hopefully not. Fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
not.
Hopefully not.
But
I don't know what it means yet. I'll just repeat what you said. Yeah.
they want to go to a woman and ask her for nude pictures. For no rhyme or reason, there is no, forget getting to consent, they just want to approach a woman and ask her for nude
And they
pictures.
have
Who's they?
no qualms in sending their own news.
Who is they?
Don't
Just
you think-
Men on the
mostly
internet.
men.
Men and Indian men who can't spell.
Yeah.
So they want to see boobs and vagina. They spell bobs and vagina.
Oh my god.
And it's a meme on the internet all over the world now that Indian men ask for bobs and vagina.
So that's what it means. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a WhatsApp call that day from an absolutely random number, and I opened it. It was a video call, and I thought maybe it was one of my friends from out of town, so I just answered it, and it was a guy literally jacking me.
Really? Oh, that's
It's
disgusting.
disgusting. And like, who is this guy? How did he get my number? Where is my
Yeah,
data
yeah.
going?
I'll tell you the strangest messages I get on Instagram. And it's just so strange. And it's a long paragraph saying, you are the most amazing. It starts off as, you are the most amazing person, you're beautiful, you're amazing. And I feel like, okay, chalo, theek hai, beautiful. मतलब compliments दे रहा है, कोई बात नहीं. Even though मैंने मांगा नहीं compliment, I have a public profile, so I have made my peace with it, fine. And then, okay, I want to be your slave. I want to worship you. And I want you to treat me, and I'm just like, and it's explicit by the end of it, and I'm just like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Why are you saying this to me? And it's so,
And are these men sort of, how do they get your number?
well, these are, so this is, one, I don't know how they get the number. I think it's Truecaller, it's like Truecaller or something. And if not that,
No, how do
even if
they get your
don't
number
have
through
the
Truecaller? How do they know what, like you're
Yeah.
known, you're famous.
Yeah.
How will they know what you look like, for example?
Instagram, they will send you an Instagram DM or like a Facebook message.
So they have your name through Truecaller, for example.
Yeah.
And then search your name on social media
Or
platform.
the other way around.
But I
They'll
think
have-
that's another thing of our generation that we've reconciled to is just sporadic privacy breaches.
Yeah.
We're just like, okay, this happens, our data is
Huh.
used, and it's just become so part of the norm that we rarely question it. And because it's just such a complicated concept, where's your data going, who has it, what are they doing with it, we don't really ever tap into how to safeguard it and
But then also, how will you safeguard it? That's the question.
What the European Union has done with GDPR, which are the new rules that have set into motion from May,
Yeah.
actually make it very explicit and have simplified what are the privacy rules.
Exactly, and that has only happened in the last 8 months. But before that, we were all on the internet. So how are you going to erase that?
And we
footprint
need that
you've
in
left?
India. You know, India is
Yeah.
one of the few countries now, something that I've been fighting for a long time, almost
Yeah.
championing. And I had the opportunity in 2013 to launch the country's first national cyber security policy, which really looked at a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
But we have a data protection law or a draft of it, which the Justice Sri Krishna Committee has just mulled over. And that's something which, you know, young people need to get behind. You need to like actually write to politicians, write to political parties, get them to pass this in parliament very quickly, because that's what really safeguards your interests. So at one level you're talking about some stalker, I won't say the word, the meme term again, but who's sort of interested in those things. But at another level, you could have a lot of your data on Google Drive.
Yeah.
It could get hacked.
I'll tell you the scariest thing that happened with me. The scariest, you know how we have how for Ubers you have your location on the phone so that you can constantly call a cab, or for Ola or for food, Zomato, and you know you have your location on at all times, right? So I'm with this, and this just happened. So I'm with a friend and I'm walking around. There's a book event that was happening in a mall, and there's a Bath and Body Works that has just opened in that mall. So me and my friend were like, let's just walk around. It's a new store. Let's look around it. Nothing. We're just smelling candles and making fun of it. I walk out of the store. I take an Uber. I sit down. I open my Instagram. The first sponsored post is from Bath and Body Works, and it's so scary because it's like they know you went to the store.
Yeah.
Okay, and they now are like, buy our product, buy our product, buy our product. And it is so scary because I never Googled it. I just went there.
And they follow your user patterns.
Yeah.
And they don't, and algorithms, they don't have consciousness, so they don't care if they're feeding you a lie, they're just exploiting the situation.
I'm glad that, and I hope the three of you are reflective of millennials, in that you're at least aware about these things.
Yeah.
Because I think other generations, especially older people like my mother who uses these tools, she has no idea about anything called privacy and what it means. So I'm glad that you guys are actually talking about that. Like when did you join, for example, a medium like Twitter?
That's also funny because I joined Twitter only to get a global citizen pass because you had to do,
Yeah.
So that's also a millennial thing we have to explain.
The concert in Mumbai?
Yeah, the concept.
Oh, you got that quickly. You got that
Yeah.
I was there, I spoke at the concert.
Oh,
there.
yeah,
of
And I
course you were
attended as
there.
well.
Yeah.
It's
That's
in
the concept.
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
Oh,
yeah.
you joined Twitter 2 years
During the
ago.
demonetization. I had no money for food that time.
It
And
was just
because-
after demonetization.
Right after demonetization,
That's right.
I had no money for food and they weren't accepting cards. It was a very scary. Yeah.
Right, I remember that. Just
Yeah.
before Coldplay, there was a huge
And
artist
also,
who came and performed.
yeah, exactly. And also,
Talking about the Prime Minister, yeah.
oh, yeah, I mean, also demonetization, everyone's hungry. I have to acknowledge that I also come from a very privileged background where my bank account, my card had enough money to get me from Delhi to Bombay and go for a concert, but there were so many people who weren't. And before addressing the parliament, there was somebody who was addressing a Coldplay concert after breaking this bomb on the entire country. Well, I accept my privilege, but I think, but yeah, I mean, moving on from the Coldplay concert, just to get those concert tickets before.
You had to join Twitter.
Yeah, I had to join Twitter, and that was way before demonetization. In my head, I had saved like not piggy bank, but like cash scraped from here and there for enough, you know.
So you've seen
Yeah, but
Twitter.
anyway.
When I joined Twitter in 2011, I believe, just before I became a minister. And my first impression of Twitter was, especially Twitter, much more than any other medium, because Facebook you can kind of block
Yeah.
people out as your friends.
Yeah.
It's an opt. You get people, allow people in. When I first saw, a sort of harmless, informative post, like I had this meeting with the Prime Minister on something on IT, and I saw people being abusive and critical. My first reaction was it was traumatizing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? What kind of a medium is this? And I remember a lot of my colleagues, like Shashi was the first one who joined Twitter. He joined Twitter very successfully and also a little controversially in the beginning. And he would often tell us it's a great medium. And when I would then tell people that, look, in spite of all this trolling, it's a great place. And all my friends who got onto it, especially political colleagues, they're like, Milind, why have you gotten me onto this medium? Because it ruins my day.
Yeah.
It's a horrible start in the morning. I can't sleep at night because I'm hearing 30 guys being abusive. So thank you for watching Learning with Millennials. I'm really grateful to my co-panelists, millennial co-panelists, Mohini Jha, Rohit Agarwal and Gurmeer Kaur coming all the way from Delhi. Thank you.
Also, guys, like, share, subscribe. Please do that and spread the word.